Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and as you can see behind me, Botania is here. So let's get this party started. As you can see on top of my head, there's been some updates to all the mods and Botania has been added. Also to note, ore excavation has also been added, which is awesome. But one of my favorite mods has definitely been added, as you can see by the flower on top of my head. By the way, it is a supporter perk, so if you want to support Vasky over on Patreon, that's how you can get that flower on top of your head. Pretty awesome. But anyways, guys, we need to dive into this. I want to start some Botania stuff right away and see if there's been any changes in 1.14. I'm kind of curious. So let's dive right in. So if we're going to get started with Botania, there's a few things that we need to work out. And that's how to get the flowers, that we're going to need. And because we've been in this world already, we don't have the natural generation that potentially would have already been added by Botania. So to do that, we need to grab some poppy, some dandelion. If you have some sunflower, you can bone meal that. If you have some roses, you can bone meal that. But you're also going to need some bone meal. So let's grab some of that. If you don't have bone, I recommend just like literally farming the nether, and you're going to find tons and tons of bone block. That's going to be something you need. So let's take a look at Botania, and we're going to look for floral fertilizer right here. This good stuff, right? And as you can see, we can use yellow and red. Now, I don't know if there's a grinding recipe that gives us more than one. I don't think so. I think it literally is just how it is. Yeah. So we're only going to get what we have currently. So I guess we're going to be able to get as much as we have yellow dye for. So half of this. So 12 floral fertilizers, which are okay, because to get started, you only need that many. Because as soon as we are able to get a single flower, we can start doing a duplication process. That's going to be really awesome. So if Botania is all still the same, which I would assume it would be for the most part, really nice. Let's go ahead and toss this in here. I accidentally placed it. As you can see, I just lost one. I placed it on here. Don't do that. I just lost out on some flowers. So I have this nice open area that I cleared out. And of course, when you place this, you're going to start getting some flowers. Ooh, the particle effects are here. Man, Vasky does a really good job with this stuff. And there's our flowers. So we can go ahead and harvest some of it. You know what's going to be really, this was a really nice addition to have ore excavator, because ore excavator makes this process even easier when we go to do the duplication process. Oh, this is going to be so good. So to get started, I really want to show you that process, because not many people know, especially when they get started with modded Minecraft and start touching Botania or trying to for the first time. They really don't see that. They don't know you can do that. They really just start hunting, and they're hunting for the flowers, and they don't realize they can do this. So if you don't have enough floral fertilizer, what we can do is we can go in here and we can look at what it's going to take. We're going to need this mortar and pestle. That's going to allow us to convert some of these petals that we're going to get into more fertilizer. As you can see right here, we can actually make more fertilizer via this. But right now we don't have very many flowers, so let's also fix that. Let's get some shears. I don't know if these shears are going to work. We're going to go with regular shears as well, and then we're also going to grab some bone meal, which we already have a little bit here. Perfect. All right, let's start this wonderful process. So we have 2 blue right here. Let's go ahead and do white right now. And we're going to place these petals on the ground. You can see they give a little bit of a sparkle effect, which is wonderful. And if you bone mill these, they turn into 2 tall, right? So remember, we just put 4 petals down, 4 white petals. And I'm going to try using this shear on it. I don't think that's going to work. Okay, it does what a normal shear would do. Okay. So like I said, you can ore excavate this though. So I went ahead and changed my keybind. I went into options, controls, and then ore excavation under category right here. And I changed my excavate key. Normally it would be grave, but it's no longer grave. But it is still the same key. I'm using the key right underneath my escape key, which is normally called the grave key. And as you can see, we ended up getting 4 tall. But if we put those in here, look at that. For each tall flower, we get 4 back. So we just turned 4 into 16. So you can do this process with any of them, and it's an intended process. And so yeah, I definitely have to get my work done. Now, what you can do is you can take these white petals, of course, save yourself one, and you turn that into more floral white powder, in which you can use to create yourself some more. Now you're only going to end up with 16 mystical flowers, and you need all 16 of them to get started. If you're needing a little bit of help with Botania, there is a beautiful guide, by the way, for it. All we need is a single book, and of course I don't have it. What is it? Let's take a look downstairs, because I have been farming a lot of sugarcane. This thing is probably completely, yeah. For some reason, the power gets reset. I gotta fix my XNet. I think XNet is completely broken at the moment. I don't know if it was this recent update, but it definitely got broken. And did this ever change? Now he's not selling anything. So yeah, that might be broken as well. I don't know. This also gets broken sometimes. There we go. Wow. Anyways, let's get ourselves some paper. Let's work with the things that aren't broken. I know Botania should not be broken at all. It already feels like it's perfect. So Lexica Botania, and you open it up, and you notice it is using it's a little bit different, because this is using Vasky's other mod, and it completely changes the way the Botania books work. It's kind of cool. So these things are going to unlock as you progress through, but it will help you get through it step by step, right? It's going to say, welcome to Botania. There's going to be a whole nice little section here talking about it. Yeah, I would say this, I can't pronounce this very well. Pascholi is the name of the mod that this book was designed off, I think for 1.12 is what it was. It's like a, it allows other mod developers to incorporate a guide into their mods. Makes it work really well. So yeah, all you gotta do is kind of read these, go through the different things, and it will help you. But I'm gonna go ahead and actually show you how to progress through Botania early on, just to get started. I think that is going to be something that helps everyone out. I don't think I need the book on me for that to happen. I hope not. So I have all the flowers here. Didn't take very long to get all of them, but I do need to start turning them into petals. It is going to take a little bit of time to do that. And I'm also going to need a bunch of bone meal. So if I need to get more bone meal, I will probably just go to the nether and start harvesting some more. But this should be more than enough. And I'm going to store them in a chest. We have a few chests. I'm just going to store them in a chest for right now, just a regular one. And we're going to start getting our work done over here in this like open filled area. I think it's going to be really nice. By the way, the chests are like this because during this recording, it is the day after Christmas. So of course it is holiday themed, which is absolutely hilarious. It kind of fits our whole base since we did decorate for Christmas, which is really nice. We even have the ladder still up because we were too lazy to take it down. We definitely need to make ourselves an apothecary, a petal apothecary here. Just regular cobblestone and slabs. I mean, we'll just grab a white petal from our chest here. As you can see, I have been getting them, getting quite a few of them ready, and we'll make ourselves a petal apothecary. We also need a bucket. I don't know if there is a special bucket. Let's see. Doesn't look like there's any kind of special buckets here, but I'm just going to use a regular bucket. Let's go ahead and make a water source. That's always what I try to do next to our petal apothecary. It just makes more sense to have a infinite water source, of course, right next to your petal apothecary. So we'll place our petal apothecary right here. Why not? And then, I don't know, underneath it, I will place a couple of slabs, and we'll have a just an infinite water source right underneath it. So, slabs. What kind of slabs do we have? We got some of these dark wood slabs. That should work just fine and shouldn't look too bad. So what I'll do is right underneath here, just clear this out. Perfect. Water there. And then we'll leave a little spot here. This will be covered up. I think this should work here. And then put the slab here. That way I can access the water while I'm filling it. Just like that. Looky there. Not too difficult. I could also, I mean, if you don't want to work with it this way and you like to stand on top of it, just set your water back here. That'll also work. So what are we going to do with this now newfound infinite water source? Well, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need a seed, or a bunch of seeds, really. So seeds are like your catalysts for creating items or creating new plants. And then your petals are going to be the ingredients for the new plant. So let's take a look at a way to generate mana, and that is an endoflame. So an endoflame is a type of flower, as you can see. We could craft an endoflame. This isn't normally the first flower you would make, though, because we are going to need specific things before we can start generating this. So the thing you really want to start making, I guess is a bad reference here, but let's take a look at Botania. If I can spell it right. There we go. Pure daisy. So a pure daisy, which is kind of what I have on top of my head. This thing right here is going to be probably your first, it should be your first flower you make. As you can see, it's just a bunch of white petals. So it's pretty simple. Let's go ahead and throw these in here. So you can just place the petals on top by tossing them in. As you can see, it requires 4. And then it's saying, okay, plus a seed. And that will create a new flower. And this is going to be your pure daisy. You can just place it on the ground here. And what you're going to surround this with is logs and stone. So we'll take a stack of stone, and we need wood of any kind. So we'll take a stack of logs. It shouldn't matter what type of logs, as long as they're or dictionaried. And you can see we can place the logs around. I'm going to do logs first so we can get a wand, but we're of course going to make more than one of these flowers. So let's get this in here. And like I said, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a seed. Now you can do this really quick. I'm going to show you how you can do this. So you pick this up, place the water in, and you see right here it says right click with an empty hand to add back your last recipe. Bam. There you go. It's that simple. And already we have, like, I can just go ahead and place this back in. Bam. And we already have 3 more daisies. And I just want to place them just like so. That way I can ore excavate. It's going to make it really easy to do ore excavation. I think this takes a little less than 2 minutes or something like that for these things to convert. And it doesn't really matter if these logs are crooked or anything. As you can see, this is what it's going to look like. So this is your living wood, and this is going to turn into living rock. And these things are going to be well worth your time. And of course, you can just ore excavate. Bam. We need to turn this into 3 living wood twigs. And then we need to figure out what color we want our new wand to be. So if we take a look at wands here, we can actually color this pretty much however we want. I tend to go with orange and cyan, or orange and light blue. I like those colors, so that's usually the colors I end up going with. They tend to look the best, since they also match my color scheme. And you can also choose what side you want. Do you want the blue on top? Well, you can just swap it over and now you have the orange on top. You know, very simple. And of course you can make as many of these as you want, but really you only need 1. This is going to be used for linking things later on. And by the way, here is our living rock. So we should be able to also ore excavate that with our pick. And you're wondering, why are you not using your mining gadget to ore excavate? Well, you can't ore excavate with your mining gadget. It's literally best used to mine. When you're working with other things, you still need your normal tools. So we are going to need a bit of this, because living wood is going to be used for creating mana spreaders. And your living rock is going to be used for creating things that usually hold mana, like a mana pool, or things that allow mana to be spread around. But there's several uses for both, and we're going to need a lot of it for the most part. So getting this thing automated is something that's going to be, it's usually fun to do, and you can actually do pretty much all of the automation for Botania with Botania. It's a super cool concept. But it all can be done, and I have done it. I have a whole series specifically on Botania itself. So love the mod, man. It's definitely worth trying out. So I was talking a little bit about mana and mana movement and how to move mana around, and we didn't really talk about how to generate mana. To generate mana, I did kind of talk about it at the beginning where I was mentioning an Endoflame. And this is probably going to be your best early game way of producing mana, and it's going to require gray, brown, and red petals. So we have our petals here, we have gray, and these are the ones that I made sure to get a bit of. And we're going to put them all in our inventory here. And this is a little thing that you're probably going to want to get set up and kind of have a way of doing this, because it is going to be kind of tedious making a bunch of these. So you can see placing them in the water, and we have to set this recipe. It's 2 brown, 1 red, 1 gray. All right, so red, gray, 2 brown, and then a seed. And then a refill and seed. And you're going to want to repeat this over and over again. So that's why I said before, standing on this could be an easy thing to do. I mean, but just swapping hands here and just kind of tossing it near this thing is pretty fast as well. And just keep repeating this process until you have a few of them. I would say at least 6 of them to get started with your first just mana spreader is going to be probably plenty to get you a little bit of mana right off the bat. Oh, I forgot to put that in there. So yeah, let's just say 6 of them. All right, and we're also going to need a few other things, right? We can't spread mana unless we have a mana spreader, and we also need a mana pool to store our mana. Mana is going to be the entire, it's the entire work base. Think of mana as RF, because I mean it can be turned into RF, but think of it as a RF source, and it can be moved around. So we have a spreader. Here we go. We don't need a pulse one. We just need a regular mana spreader. It's going to require a piece of gold, some wood, and a petal. So there is 1 mana spreader, and then we're going to need a mana pool. Now I kind of have the pool memorized. So there's our pool. It's all you need to get started. Pretty simple. Let's take a look over here and how we're going to set this up. So we'll place down our pool and our mana spreader, just like this. And then behind our mana spreader, I'm going to place down my 6 Endoflames. Right. Nothing's working. Wonder why. Well, I'm going to need something to fuel these Endoflames, and these things consume charcoal or coal. We also need to make sure our wand is in the 2 modes. We have 2 separate modes. We have a bind mode and we have a wand mode. And so if we shift right click on this, we can select it, and then we shift right click on this, we can bind it, right? And these should automatically be binded or bound to here. And you can actually right click on these to see if they have a check mark. If they have a check mark, that means they're linked to a mana spreader, but you can also hover over them, and you can see it's highlighting what it's connected to, which is another good thing. Is you highlight over this, you can see what it's also bound to over here. But if you place the Endoflames after you've placed the mana spreader, these will connect to the closest mana spreader source. So pretty good thing to know, and very useful. So now that we have this, we're gonna have to feed it some coal. Much like everything else we've used in here, coal is very important. So we'll take some coal. Now the best coal to use is probably going to be coal blocks because it lasts the longest. But if you just throw regular coal, it should consume, I think, 6 coal. That was a stack. Yeah, it consumes 6, one for each, and it's going to start producing some mana. Look at there. We already have a little bit of mana. Now you're going to notice this is going to move really slow. This bar is going to fill up really slow. That is, you will probably not see that little bitty blue strip move much at all. But later on, once you start finding better ways of producing mana, you'll definitely start seeing a lot more. That is for sure. My goal for the end of the day is to get a new armor set that may not be as good as this one, but boy, does it look way better than this armor. So I want to set up a really simple automation setup for this. So you can actually set up pretty simple automation for whether you're going to be using blaze rods or coal. Either way, it shouldn't be too difficult to do. you're going to need an open crate from Botania, a little bit of redstone. I mean, I'm talking about a tiny bit of redstone. And you're also going to need a pressure plate. Now, be wary that this doesn't always work that great on servers, and I have seen some issues with it on servers. You're also going to need a hopper. Let's set this to, where's it at? Search mode, JEI synchronize. And let's take a look at hopper. There we go. And we'll just make a hopper here. We need a hopper going into an open crate with a little bit of redstone using some slabs. And we're also going to need a wooden pressure plate. So let's go ahead and make a wooden pressure plate. And voila, we should have pretty much everything we need. So what this is going to do for us, this is going to allow us to kind of sit back and just let this work. So we'll place the pressure plate here, right? And then over top of this pressure plate will be an open crate. Just like that. And I mean, we really just need a hopper going into the back. And we need a way to get the redstone signal to go on top of the hopper. So to do that, we just need a redstone signal heading out from here. And let's see, we'll set this up like that. Let's make sure that this is broken on the bottom. Gonna end up breaking the entire thing. There we go, a slab like this. And I think that's it. Like this will go up. So redstone signals can go up like this, but they do not like to go down like this. So just keep that in mind. So when an item drops on here, it'll basically light this up if there's an item here. So let's go ahead and just test that. Put the coal in. You can see there's a piece of coal here. So when that redstone signal is active, it actually shuts the hopper off so that way an item doesn't actually go into the open crate. So this is a simple way of automating your little redstone design. I'm talking about this is super simple and can be easily done just like I showed you. So this right here is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. As you can see, there's an item here that's just setting on a pressure plate, and this shouldn't go anywhere until it's consumed over here. And that's basically it. You just fill your hopper here. Now, if you want to automate items going in, you can just have another hopper going into this hopper. Don't always recommend that, as that can also cause potential chunk loading issues that will result in this thing just spilling tons of items on the ground, which is what has happened on a lot of servers that even I have hosted. We usually like, why is there like 30,000 items on the ground? It's because of this kind of setup. Yes, this works. It's not exactly this specific setup, but it is setups like this. So this is simple. If you're in your single player world and you want to automate it, there you go. We already got it going. Now I do want to convert some items, and that is going to be iron. So let's head on over here. I can start to kind of put some items away. I want to keep my Botania items separate though. So like my petals and things like that, I do want those separate. But let's take a look at coal, right? We have some coal. I have a bunch of blocks of it. I want to fill this whole thing, not with blocks of coal, but I want to fill it with coal while we're working on all this. So that way we know it stays running. And what we'll do is we'll grab some iron, because I want to make a suit of armor. That is the whole set. I want to make the basic mana steel armor. So if I hover over here, you can see that I tossed this in here. It's going to cost a little bit of mana. You can see our mana slowly but surely generating. Let's see how much that actually consumed. You can see it went down a little bit. There you go. And eventually we're going to run out of mana by doing this. And I'm going to keep doing it until now. Perfect. It tells us we do not have enough, and that was just enough for 16 mana steel. So what am I going to do with this mana steel? Well, I want to craft it into some armor, but first there's something else that I would like to make, and that is a mana tablet. So that way we can create a magnet, and we need a little bit of this, because you guys have been like, oh, can you make a magnet? Well, there hasn't really been anything in here to be able to make a magnet with. So we should be able to make a mana tablet at this point to store a little bit of mana like this. It uses either a mana diamond or a mana pearl. I'm gonna go with a diamond, as we have a lot more diamonds than we do pearls. And hopefully we have enough mana to turn this. Probably not. Not yet. So we're going to have to give it a little bit of time for this to build back up. Now, if this is too slow for you, what I recommend is just having more mana spreaders with more endo flames. That is going to make this process a lot faster. For me, I've just been kind of setting over here at my other mob farm, just letting this process so I gain more experience for one thing, because I want to enchant my stuff later. But yeah, I'm totally going to have a bigger setup than this. But eventually we're going to switch, and we're going to hopefully incorporate a setup like this into generating mana. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm going to need a bit more. Looks like our diamond's ready. And we'll get this all set up. Like, I mean, we have a lot we can do with Botania. Let's make our mana tablet. There we go. And we can put a little bit of mana in it. I'm not worried about the mana just yet. I do, however, want to make a magnet. And ring of magnetization, I believe is what it's called. Yes, ring of magnetization. So we're going to need this right here. Mana lens. And the mana lens is going to be turned into a mana lens of magnetization. And then that is going to be turned into a ring of magnetization. Now, we do have a new tab right here that opens up that lets us put rings in our ring slot. So if we take a look at ring, I think is one. I can get the, let's see, crown. I did see a crown. This right here is the mod. The Curious API is what is adding this slot, or the Curious is what it's called. I did see it in the settings, because by default, as you can see, look at this. It's going to be pulling items in. We don't really need I guess we don't need a mana tablet for it to work. I think it works better with a mana tablet or something like that. But if you hold shift, yeah, you can prevent that from pulling items in. I'm going to take it off for now, because I'm going to use it when we do other things. But you can see right here, press to open the accessory menu. I guess that automatically goes into the accessory menu and starts working. Yeah, pretty cool. That's a ring that we can make. Of course, I need to throw my coal back in here because I don't want it in my inventory. Awesome. So do we have enough for any more iron? 16 is what we're stuck at again. And yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend making this stuff. I want to make a pair of pants, a pair of boots, and we almost have enough for, well, I guess we have enough for a helmet. And that's going to be pretty much everything we need to replace this. And we almost have ourselves a full set of mana steel. We just need our chest piece. I mean, we can't wear it anyways with our helmet. But what this does, what this mana steel does, is if we have mana in our mana tablet, right, then our armor no longer takes damage and it repairs itself with mana. So super cool. If you didn't know how that works, basically when it takes any durability hits, it should be repaired with mana. And you can see right here, 10% mana cost on mana tools and rods. This also gives us a discount on things that do require mana, whenever we do have a full armor set on anyways. Eventually we'll have the ability to fly and not need a jetpack as well. It's a way late game Botania, but it is definitely something that I want to strive towards. So this is just a slight upgrade that I managed to just put together real quick. Now I have two of them running on each side. I have two mana spreaders to separate because you don't really want to go above about 6 endo flames per mana spreader, because I mean these things can only produce so much, or can only hold so much mana before it disperses. So I recommend keeping it around under 6. I believe that's a good number, at least from all of the testing that I've done with these things. But so far, this is looking pretty good. So, guys, I hope to see you in the next episode. As you can see, we did get our armor, which is pretty sick. But I want to do some more things with Botania. There's a lot of cool things that we can actually make with Botania that we can use towards other things in this world. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And by the way, welcome back. I am back from my vacation. And I hope to see you in the next episode. And if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, I highly recommend doing so. And also ring the notification bell so you will be notified when I push out new videos just like this one. So guys, I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.